Tuesday morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm running into your brand new day. Today, Tuesday, the 22nd of July, 2025. JW and the truly tremendous team here at CNC3, Level 4 Guardian Media Building. We are ready to go, and there was so much to unpack this morning. It's been a very hectic last 24 hours. Obviously, some of the big news breaking into the late evening, and we head down to the rather quiet village of Rampanalgas as you go towards Toko for today's lead story, and it's splashed all over the front page of The Guardian. I'm sure many would have seen this development via social media, and we will unpack some more of it during the course of the morning. So let's head to that story immediately via our Guardian. And it reads, kidnap victim rescued, cops kill male suspect, detain female in connection with abduction. And this news came to the fold last evening. Highly dramatic scenes there. Again, the claim is that upon approaching the house or the area that the victim was located, they were fired upon, and well, they had to respond with, well, what is clearly deadly force. A matter of fact, I want to give you that perspective directly from the Commissioner of Police, who was on location there with his troops. So let's go to that video from the rescue last evening down Rampanalgas.
Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Alistair Guevara, and this is... All right, ready again? You got it. Right. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm addressing you all tonight from the Toko main road in Rampanalgas, where around 6:30 p.m., based on information and intelligence received, officers from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services sections, the multi-optional police section, the Special Investigations Unit, and the Anti-Kidnapping Unit received intelligence about the location of kidnapped victim Seti Karim. As a result, intelligence-led operation went into play, and as the officers would have approached the house, the male suspect would have held Ms. Karim hostage, was armed with a firearm, and sadly, the police officers had to use the use of force policy. And he was wounded and taken to hospital, where he succumbed subsequently. The victim, Ms. Karim, was also taken to hospital, where she was medically examined, and she is now reunited with her family. A female suspect is also in custody at this point in time. I would like to urge the members of the public to continue to partner with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and share information that is of use to us. This is a scenario where we spoke about this recently held for the state of emergency that I would have asked the government to call for, and they willingly agreed. These are the criminal gangs that have amalgamated themselves into this syndicate and were using crimes such as robberies, extortion, and in this case, kidnapping, for the purposes of getting money so that they could fuel their rampant, what shall I call it, attack on the good citizens of this country. This is a scenario that should have played out totally different had they, or had he, decided to give himself up, as I begged the members of the criminal networks, when confronted by my officers, please surrender and do not engage my officers. They are highly trained, and this is the outcome. I would extend condolences to the family of the deceased. But at this point in time, Trinidad and Tobago, we have rescued the kidnapped victim. The operation was spearheaded, and this has been days that police officers have been on the ground, spearheaded by Assistant Commissioner of Police Smith, Senior Superintendent Mr. Maraj, Superintendent Parryman, and the information that we got from the public was overwhelming in bringing a successful rescue of the hostage.
Commissioner, can you give us the identities and ages of the deceased persons and the female that would, the deceased person and the female that would have been housed?
At this point in time, they are still unidentified, and I would like to withhold the name of the female suspect at this point in time, because it's an ongoing operation.
Are there any other parties who are involved? Searches being conducted to any other individuals?
See, when I talk to you about intelligence-led and strategic policing, these are the things we shall not speak about.
No, we just had to ask.
I know you had to ask.
We have to.
Yeah.
You made mention that Miss Sati is back with her family, but what is her condition from your information? How is she feeling, or was she physically harmed in any way?
Visibly, yeah, she's visibly shaken. Understand some dehydration, but she is otherwise okay.
All right, and we've been told that there was another kidnapping last night in the northeastern division, northern division.
Right. That is still being investigated at this point in time, and again, we'd like to withhold as much information as possible so as to allow the police to continue to do their operations using strategic intelligence-led policing. We'd like to tell you everything that we know, but at this point in time, it may be best that we keep something to ourselves.
Is there anything else? Well, I know it may have already been mentioned in news, but is there anything else you could tell us about the vehicle that was found in Aruca? From initial information provided us, was supposed to be, or alleged to be, one used in the kidnapping itself.
You have a lot of information.
I try to.
Okay. Well, at this point in time, I'll leave you with that bit of information that you have already had. I wouldn't add to it.
So Police Commissioner Guevara and his officers are doing tremendous work. Of course, intelligence is I would say, the highest currency when it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to detection. They need the information, and clearly there were members of the citizenry who were willing to pass information on, send the information, hence they were able to go to the exact location. This is the first time in a long time I've seen an actual rescue. There were moments where we see, so people would have been kidnapped in the past, and then we saw people being released, for some reason always around the Caroni area, close to the burial grounds there for some reason. I don't know why that location seems to be one where they like to drop people off, but nonetheless, we've seen a rescue. We've seen also the commissioner understanding the optics and understanding, product placement, positioning himself there on the ground during the said investigation while it's happening, taking a page off of the likes of, I would imagine, Gary Griffith Filbert, I remember, was one of those action commissioners. We recall the likes of Burroughs. Before my time, I can't recall Burroughs and his particular style, but I've been told the stories by my mom and others who would have lived through his tenure. I was too small to really understand or have any true recollection of what he was doing, but I recognize that in Trinidad and Tobago, we like to see a commissioner who is on the ground, boots on the ground, gun in hand, rolling through bush, like we see in the movies. And clearly, the commissioner understands the assignment. And again, kudos to all those involved with that rescue, and I hope that whoever else is involved, there is some accountability for this wicked action, because we cannot condone any kind of kidnapping. That's not something we want to see come back on the shores, on the soil. Let's go to the other big story. Again, this one I'll be guided by all developments, because I don't know what's going on. You're hearing the former Prime Minister saying one thing, suggesting he went to Antigua and, well, the process wasn't a smooth one. He says he's on Interpol's list. Then the Prime Minister and the Commissioner, who we just saw, Action Commissioner, suggesting that's not the case. They would have done their due diligence and there is no particular list or his name, the former Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley's name is not on any list. So again, let's take in a bit of what was said by the former PM, and then, later on when we open the lines, we'll give you a chance for you, of course, to give your assessment from this rather developing and fluid story. Let's say from the former PM.
And I knew that this is not just an ordinary situation. Yes. People's location and Antigua police are not arbitrary. I continued to travel on to Trinidad and Tobago. I got back here on Sunday evening, and I made the necessary investigations through Caribou. And my colleagues, my friends in Caribou contacts, I knew it where to talk to. And it was confirmed to me then that I was on Interpol. And the issues that arose in Antigua are as a result of Antigua police responding to Interpol and Interpol's interest in me.
I mean, is it just me, or on a lighter note, somebody could have tell the PM, the former PM, to move that fan? I find the fan was kind of distracting, to be quite honest. This random fan just sit down in the shot. But nonetheless, as we go back to the very serious allegation, that's the claim of the former Prime Minister, but the current Prime Minister dismisses the allegations as unfounded. And that story develops here on page 5 via today's Guardian. And whenever they're touching base with any former or current public official, if there's a fan in the shot, I suggest we get it out the way. Set to the back page and see what's happening. And it's, well, the clash of the protective services. And we see the Defense Force coming out on top yet again. It seems like the Defense Force really, they've had a great run this season in both tiers, top tier and this tier 2. So 5-3 was the final score, with Defense Force coming up against police on Sunday night there at the grounds in, I think this game was actually in Norcata. So kudos to Defense Force, well done. And also, Windies will bounce back, says Holder. Of course, we had a game in Jamaica, Sabina Park. Not too bad in terms of our first knock, and then Australia just dismantle it. I mean, you have to really be on your A game against Australia. One of the superpowers right now in cricket, of course, India, well, the superpower. And, you know, we were in the conversation at a point in time, and I wonder if it's just the natural cycle of life, and when, you know, you have a dynasty and you're able to dominate for many years, there comes a point where there's a total reversal, there's a 180, you go through a rebuilding process. There are many who, if you don't understand the history and you don't understand the legacy, that same passion and drive will not be there. And then sports in itself now, it's a changing and ever-changing dynamic and discipline. It's not just based on talent and individual ability. It's lots of money, lots of investment, lots of, you know, long-term planning, you know, youth development. It's a whole cycle. It's money. It's big money also. And if we're not up to the time and we can't keep up with best practices on the international level, the result we're seeing, it's what will continue to be our portion. And it's unfortunate because the legacy is such a rich one. And we have talented players. We have seen our players go to different franchise teams and become stars. But for some reason, when it comes to the collective, I don't know if it's the same. I mean, I don't know what's in a man's heart. We can't, you know, gauge somebody's heart, but clearly 27. I'll say this before I go to the brief. At that time, a year in the 90s, early 90s, I remember distinctly. My mom, she loves cricket, and school had finished, and she grabbed me as soon as school was done, 2:30, went down to the Oval. And that's when West Indies had bowled down Australia. No, not Australia, it was England. Could be 50-something runs. Ambrose and Walsh was on. I mean, when I tell you, fire that day, and we were having a time, and I remember, you know, jumping up on the celebration. And when you're in that celebratory mood and you're in that kind of victory, seeing the dynamic performance of a team that you support, you don't ever study those on the losing end and what they would have experienced. And it's only really when you're on that side of the equation, you recognize how it feels and how embarrassing and how hurtful it is. And I think it's just part of the journey when you support a sport team or you support a athlete or a player. You'll have your good days, your great days. You'll also have your hard days. And it's during those hard days you need to, you know, rally, you know, be honest, criticize, be constructive, let them know what time it is, but you can't give up on the support. So I'll never give up on West Indies. But I hope the West Indies players also don't give up on West Indies. There must be a different kind of passion and energy when you go in the middle to represent the millions that call this team our team. So just wanted to give a little take on that. I'll express some more later on. Let's head to the brief because there is lots to get through this morning. And we celebrate the hero. Let me tell you, this man, when they talk about just spring into action, well done, partner. He should get a national award. I know normally, and they normally give people award, any kind of act of kind of heroics, act of bravery. That's right. So Akil Devines, right, speaks to the guy, our Guardian reporter, Otto Carrington, about his particular heroic effort. I don't know if you saw the video, but a small man ended up on the Ferris wheel, and I don't even know what happened. Well, boy, man like Akil, climb up one time, to full Spider-Man business. It reminds me of what the guy did in France. Remember that baby that was dangling in a balcony, and an immigrant just scale up the building. The French gave him citizenship one time. The French say yes. He was illegal before. He was illegal. We scale up. They say you're a Frenchman now. Well, I mean, this man is local. He's homegrown. But I believe some kind. Look at this man now. You see this? Putting himself at risk, That is belly. You just call that adrenaline. You call that acting. You call that just being in the moment. And, again, parents too, keep your eye on your child too. Oh gosh, man. How it even end up to this? Look at this man, boy. That is belly play. Come on, a national award for this man. There's some kind of something. Because I know they are indeed, there is a facility via the national awards when people, they go over and beyond. Look at this. Any kind, oh boy, clap boy. Round of applause, Akil. Anybody here want to do that, guys? I myself, I think so. I think when you especially when it comes to a child, there's no questions asked. You just spring into action. Yeah? Well done, Akil. With that, let's take the pause. We come back with a very serious conversation. And yet again, I give thanks for the Prison Officers Association President Gerard Gordon taking time out to schedule, especially during this SOE, to address some of the major security breaches and just basically the impact of this SOE on the prison service and prison officers. Gerard Gordon, President of the Prison Officers Association. He joins me next.
At Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chaguanas, we are committed to providing quality products for all major building projects. Let's build together with rebars and beams, BRC coils and mats, RHS and angles, roofing sheets and purlins, lumber, plywood and MDF. Bagwansing's, building homes, building communities, building TNT for over 60 years. Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chaguanas, building value every day.
Struggling with heart health or frequent migraines? Discover the simple steps to reclaim your energy and vitality.
We're diving into a topic that affects about 422 million people around the world: diabetes.
Tune into Wellness Unlocked, the series that delivers expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your health and well-being. Your health matters. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and take the first step toward better health.
There's something here for everyone, from baby to adulthood. Anything you need, it is right here at Food Basket Super 99.
Food Basket Super 99, affordable and trendy. Food Basket Super 99 Arima, where fashion meets affordability.
The detergent smells nice while washing, but when you use the new Downy Intense fabric softener, with its new multi-capsule fragrance, it releases an intense scent that lasts twice as long. With the new Downy Intense, you'll enjoy a rich and delightful fragrance that keeps you feeling fresh 24/7.
Is high blood sugar the root cause of diabetes? Most people think high blood sugar is the problem. The truth, it's inflammation. Insulin resistance is the root cause of diabetes. Reducing that inflammation is key. Omega XL is a natural option. Not fish oil, but a patented green-lipped muscle extractor with over 30 fatty acids, including EPA and DHA. Clinically studied, backed by over 30 years of research. Stay tuned.
Omega XL. Power your health. This is not a procedure. It's just a hard-working cream.
Revitalift Triple Power with pro-retinol, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C visibly reduces wrinkles, firms, and brightens skin in 1 week.
Ladies, it's time to ask for more.
Revitalift Triple Power by L'Oréal Paris.
23 after 6 o'clock, we anticipate the arrival of the Prison Service Association, their president, and of course we will get into that very deep discussion, especially under the umbrella of this state of emergency. Before that, let me remind you ways you can contact the team and get in touch with our producer to book your spot, whether you join me here live or you want to come on the Zoom line. It's not a problem. We'll make it happen. You're sending your short and, I'll say a short email, yeah, nice and short, compact, to the point. You're sending it to tmb@cnc3.co.tt. Let's head across to the social media handles. That's why I actually found out, at least in real time, this rescue that transpired in Rampanalgas yesterday. I saw it via our CNC3 News Instagram page. Saw the interview there that we just disclosed and we showed to the entire nation. I saw that first on social. So if you want to stay on top of the news, basically, you got the Instagram, Facebook, X. That's the feed. We put stuff out, we vet the stories, and keep you, of course, in the know. Another way to stay on top of your news, we verify the stories, as always, is via the CNC3 mobile app, the #1 source for, again, breaking news, all your favorite content there on demand. We ask you to download and get it today. Let's head across now to, as always, the promotion of The Guardian. 107 years. This year, let's make it 108. The only thing older than The Guardian really is the prison in Port of Spain, you know. I'll have to say that. That prison is about 200 years old. What is that? And we will get into that discussion with President Gordon in a few because, my goodness. Let's put everything on pause there for now. And as mentioned, we get ready for the Prison Officers Association President, Gerard Gordon. He joins me next.
Okay, I see you. Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off, shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off. Let me see you kick right, now kick left, now step forward, now step back. Lucasade, bring the energy.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Built to Last has a massive sale on roofing materials, including standing seam. Invest in durable roofing sheets at unbeatable prices. Choose our supply and installation package and enjoy huge savings on your roof. Quality materials, quality prices, quality workmanship. Our name says it all. Built to Last for roofing that is built to last. We will not be beaten on price. Enjoy free delivery and free roll forming on standing seam and guttering on site. Call us now, 355-7703.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Run Credit Union, you can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Run Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Run Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
New Superstay Teddy Tent from Maybelline, New York. Blurred mats, no transfer. Up to 12-hour wear and a plush feel. New Superstay Teddy Tent, Maybelline, New York.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
President of the Prison Officers Association, Gerard Gordon, joins me. And I must say, President Gordon, it's trying times. The last conversation we would have had, it was a very deep conversation. You revealed lots of the issues you and your officers face day to day. And one is indeed the Port of Spain facility, where some of these high-profile remand prisoners would have been transferred. I don't know if it was actually from there or from Maximum, but nonetheless, we'll get to Port of Spain in a few, because I'm getting the impression that under this administration, and I heard some utterances from the Minister of Homeland Security in agreement, in favor of shutting down that facility. But before we even get there, what's the current morale of the prison officers, especially under this umbrella of the state of emergency, and with a couple of your partners in the national security framework more or less kind of shifting a lot of blame towards your officers with the current state of the prison?
Okay, so morale has always been, and for the longest while, been very low. I don't think it's any lower now under the current conditions. However, what I would say is this. History and also the media, the public will be our witnesses. We have been sounding the alarm about the state of the nation's prisons. I would have said some time ago that the prison has collapsed, to which the then minister came out and refuted that. But the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, and I can't stress enough, and this is why I continue to engage, because I get plenty licks too, you know. Because
from who though?
The public. You remember there's a high distrust for authority in Trinidad and Tobago. And when you operate in a service like ours, which is not seen, what you have to go on is what somebody tell you. Second and third hand information. And just yesterday I was saying, I wish the media could be in the prison every day. You know? So the thing about it, when you talk about morale and the SOE and all that is happening, you know, just yesterday I was dealing with an issue. Who's seeing about those guys? Who's managing those guys down there at the army base? It's prison officers.
Also, it's prison officers down there?
Yes, it's prison officers down there. So they carry them down there, and only to realize that no provisions were made for the accommodation of the officers. Last night, after 10 of talking to an officer, they sleeping in an ambulance, because what the area they tell them that accommodating them, reported to me, is in the same building that they hold in the individuals, and the people who dealing directly with them have en masse, and there are no proper toilet facilities. So my whole question is, we have been clamoring for decades a new facility to deal with remanded individuals. I cannot stress enough, a prison is not a building. It's a living, breathing organism that has to be designed with the end purpose in mind. Who you are holding, for how long you're going to hold them there, and what would you like to do or impart or treat with while they're incarcerated. The most tragic thing going on in Trinidad and Tobago. So blame prison, all right, no problem. No problem. Yes, we have rogue officers. I've always admitted that. But hear what I'm telling you, Jason. You know that, and we start with the Port of Spain, 200 years old. The maximum security prison, over 30 or 35 years old. I visited a facility just recently in the United States, They moved from a facility that was old, 35 years old, into a new facility. 35 years is old and outdated. And we continue to want the prison service to operate. That's what the headline, $5.2 billion. It sounds like such a fantastic figure. You know what the salaries for the year for the prison service, you know what it is? Over $430 million for 1 year. No allowances, no NIS, no nothing. No traveling, no nothing. Just bare bones salary takes up. And if we were to divide from 2016 to now, you're looking at an average of about $500 million a year. And what it speaks specifically to what we have been saying. We are under-resourced. Nobody is listening because we have been speaking about this entire issue. We're not in control of the jammers. So they would want to blame us, oh, the tech and the jammers, and if the jammers not working, is the technology up to date? So I more and more and more, I'm looking at it as a setup. And I don't know what it is setting up for. But unless we move away from the blame, it's them and it's this one and it's that one, and we recognize that the criminal justice system ought to be treated as a whole organism, where the police, the judiciary, and the prison service work as one singular unit so that we could serve the people at Trinidad and Tobago. What we have is a silo type of arrangement. I doing my thing here, police doing their thing, the judiciary doing their thing, we doing our thing. And then when things are not going as it should, who do we blame? The least of them all.
Well, I heard the commissioner last week with his utterance almost suggesting that if the prison service doesn't get their house in order, he'll have to come in and intervene, and speaking specifically to rogue officers. And again, I wonder what's the drive? Is it a financial gain with some officers? Is it intimidation that will cause men to bring contraband and communication devices into the system?
I'm going to say it again for the public to understand. Nobody is denying that we have rogue officers. In fact, I could guarantee we are the only service who pursue our own. You hear what I'm saying? We actively pursue our own officers to get them out.
Because it will be in your interest.
It will be in our own interest to do so.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is in our interest.
Yes.
But we are faced with the human mind is a very, it could be very dangerous, it could be liberating, but we are dealing with that on one end. We are dealing with visitors. Just yesterday, a visitor was held attempting to bring in contraband into the prison, and that is not a rare occurrence. We have the drones that wreaking havoc where that is concerned. Just recently, when I was here the last time, we saw the guy throwing the thing over the wall. And you see, we like to look at things on the surface, and I say, okay, so after we blame and we blame and we blame and we blame, why are we not listening to what are the solutions? When we speak about moving Port of Spain prison out of the capital city.
So you believe that should be done with?
Yeah,
condemned?
It should be condemned. We should have, because currently 3/4 of the prison population is remanded individuals. This is the other thing.
They're waiting for
These
judgment.
people are waiting for their day in court. Why are we as a people accepting the judiciary's management and the police management of this construct, evidence and court hearing, and a man sit on 5, 6, 10, 12, 13, 15 years for determination of a matter? We're ridiculous. And nobody is speaking about that. But here what we're talking about. Them rogue officers, okay, we accept that fact. But everywhere there are rogue elements. Everywhere there are people who are not doing what they are supposed to do. And why is it that the least of us, with the least ability to manipulate the environment in which we are practically forced to function, because unlike other people, workers, we are not workers, I always say that. Once you are in the essential services, you are not a worker, because you cannot affect change using traditional means. You can't strike, you can't withhold your labor, So whatever is laid out before you or not laid out before you, you have to engage.
Do you get a sense as a prison officer, because you're in the system, you will understand the spirit of the environment. Do you sometimes get a sense if the place is about to erupt? Do you get that particular feeling? And was there any feeling of an eruption in the last recent time to bring on this kind of SOE?
For the last, we have been cautioning because you just feel it in the air.
How you know?
There is an active silence. That's the best way. Silence is silence. And when I say active, it's almost as if there is an attempt for the people to be quiet, more quiet than usual. And I was making the point, a lot of the officers who have been murdered, nobody never tell them, hey, you're going and kill you. You see, we have this, I don't know if, and once again, this is why we need to open up. I want them to open up the prison to the public, you know. I want them to start to do prison tour. Let the public come and see for themselves. Because what I think will happen, there has to be a modification in behavior because now everybody's seeing you. This is why we're asking for cameras. How you could have a prison and you have minimal or no camera system in 2025? We asking for the body cameras, and I know there's some technical challenges with the jammers and signal and whatnot. But you know why I specifically want the body cameras for officers in the prison? Because it is a behavior modifier. When you know you have no control, you can take it off. Once you go into a particular area, it comes on. The officer is going to know that every move he makes is going to be recorded. Everything he says is going to be recorded. You're going to have a modification of behavior with the inmates also, you know. Because they know once an officer facing them, what they say is going to be recorded. You see, we have to move out of the 1838 Act of prison and understand that crime and criminality going ahead by leaps and bounds, you know, and we still operating in the past.
What's the conditions of Carrera down the island?
Carrera is an old facility, just like Port of Spain, around the same age. The thing about it is that, and managing an island prison separate from the mainland costs a lot of money. You see, this is the thing. That $5.2 billion is not no money, you know.
What do you think will be an adequate amount? I mean, they'll have to obviously step it up from that 5.2. Way north to really...
No, what I'm saying is this. It is not about plucking a figure out of the air. It's about setting realistic objectives that align itself with the national interests, and then you will determine what is required. I mean, we could, if we talk about basic recurrent, officers haven't been getting uniforms. They haven't been getting boots. There's a yearly requirement for uniform. You don't even get that. We have the oldest fleet. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen for this independence. I want to see what vehicles they're going and flash paint to go on Independence Day parade. This charade, not the parade is a charade, you know, but our presentation is a charade. Police get 50-something by 80-something vehicle, by this vehicle, by that vehicle, and we can get 5. Gotta beg for a water truck. There's an ambulance that they say they have to post down at the army base. No siren, no lights, a faulty stretcher. It's not outfitted with anything in it if there's really an emergency and the personnel have to stabilize anybody. There's nothing in that vehicle. So it's a van that looks like an ambulance. That is what we really dealing with, you know. And nobody's listening. And I kept saying that. Somebody messaged me, God, what's going on? I said, nobody not listening, boy. I said, they're quite content to blame. So let us go down that road and blame and blame and blame. But my question is, after the SOE, we have 15 days before they have to go to a particular place. for extension. My question is, how much extension would they take? Would they take extension for the next 5 years? When will it end? And when it does end, because it is going to end, where are we going to be because this is our national issue, and I continue to say, we don't have a prison problem, we don't have a police problem, we don't have a judiciary problem. What we have is a people problem. And until we start to address that, then all we're doing is just playing. As a man get vexed with me yesterday. I said, we playing smart with stupidness. He said, I playing smart with stupidness. So I mustn't talk the truth. I mustn't bring things to the fore. I must leave my officers to suffer, the good officers, because if we start, Balgobin is at home. Right now we're trying to organize the outfit and make some modification to his home because he can't walk. And the thing about it is that these are the things that we know. Nobody don't want to talk about that, you know. What we say is that it's better, sometimes we feel that it's better we die. It's easier to deal with a dead. They kill the officer, you bury him, and everybody dusts their hand. But you see, if you survive, that is where the bacchanal start.
President Gordon, I must say, very, you know, the reality of what you're dealing with and what you're facing, it's weighing heavy on many looking on this morning. I want us to keep this conversation going. SOE or no SOE, let's keep putting it to the powers that be so that there could be immediate, we're talking about something down the road, we're talking about an immediate resolution to some of the issues within the prison service, because from my experience going in to do my little feature address and talk with the prisoners, what you see inside is what you see outside. Is a total mirror and a reflection of
society, correct.
And if inside there are under problems, we have to also check ourselves on the outside.
Correct.
President Gordon, we run out of time though, but let's keep the conversation going.
No problem.
Only best man. Keep it safe.
Yeah, Jace.
For sure. We come back and get into the counter-trafficking unit and some of the plans. I think there is a particular day. It's a World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. And let's see what some of the plans for that particular occasion. See you soon.
Southern food basket. Quality food to fill you.
Hey, pretty lady. I see you're looking for some hot sauce. Boy, move it. I have a man. See you. So you don't want no mother-in-law?
Attention, valued shoppers. We are thrilled to celebrate 34 amazing years with you, our loyal customers. A huge congratulations to all our winners.
Hey, don't make joke. I know we're not shopping spree.
Yes, snacks we buying, mommy.
Look, boy, come on, eh? Well, look how I just win a Caribbean getaway now. Rock back. Girl, I know we're not shopping spree, eh? Well, come on, help me now. You don't have a man? Later. Nah.
It's Southern Food Basket's 34th anniversary extravaganza from July 1st to August 31st. Shop and enter for a chance to win incredible prizes, Caribbean getaways, staycations, shopping spree, and the ultimate grand prize of a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Welcome to ABC Doors and Windows, TNT's #1 destination for the best quality and widest variety of doors and windows. Enhance your space with our premium wooden, steel panels, fiberglass, and steel security doors, complemented by our aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows. Shop for the best quality and service at ABC Doors and Windows. Visit our impressive showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to get started. Trust ABC for a better choice. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Devashagonas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Well, I'm happy to have with me on set to continue with the SOE discussion, the legal officer under the umbrella of the TTPS. It's been quite a while. I haven't had Officer Ali with me, so I give sincere thanks for not only your time, but I look forward to at least under the legal framework of this SOE. I know you're well informed and we could at least get some guidance in that regard. So Officer Ali, great to see you again.
Well, thank you very much, GW, for having me. Thanks to Nikisha and your support team, and most importantly, thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service for the approval to be here this morning.
We're going to get into some detention procedures and due process. I'm seeing via The Guardian this morning about 160 folks would have been arrested so far during raids. Walk me through what's different during a SOE compared to, let's say, in a regular and normal timing.
Well, thank you very much, GW. GW, just permit me, before we answer that question directly, I think it's important for us to re-highlight, if you would have highlighted already. You know, waking up this morning and hearing that kidnapped victim, Sati Karim, back safely in the hands of her family.
Yes.
I want to acknowledge the work of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the support agencies with reference to this matter. And most importantly, JW, the response from members of the public. So I just wanted to echo that this morning.
No, of course, and actually, you're spot on. I actually dealt with that this morning, and I spoke to the importance of information. To me, it's the greatest currency in the crime fight.
Yes.
And it seems to me that information was given to police to know exactly where the victim was, and they were able to act in a very decisive manner.
Yeah, and most certainly, and when you see the Commissioner of Police and members of the executive, leading, the charge, it really sends a very strong message, to not only the criminal elements, but the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, that we are serious about dealing with crime and criminality. But back to that question that you asked, JW, a very important question. And I think that, from our past experience, once members of the public hear a declaration of a state of emergency, there's many different perspectives, sometimes I may say, respectfully, a misrepresented position. But I want to say to Trinidad and Tobago this morning to offer some comfort, or some assurance that while you have a state of emergency, state of emergency creates a legal framework to be able to deal with persons who are bent on impacting the public safety and security. That doesn't suspend the rule of law. So you have the orthodox laws that we are accustomed to that continue to exist. The SOE declaration just brings forward emergency powers regulation to be able to enhance the ability of the law enforcement agencies, both the police and the defense force, and to a certain extent the prison service, to be able to respond effectively. And I want to quote this, with persons who are bent on prejudicing public safety and security.
So in essence, an example would be you could go into someone's residence without a warrant if there is suspicion or due process as to contraband or weapons in the said premises.
Love that question. So there goes one of the enhancements that in the normal legal framework, if I should say that, you have, in order to go into a dwelling house, you need to secure a search warrant so that you're balancing the right of the person to enjoy their property and the right of law enforcement to be able to investigate. Under the legal framework with the SOE, if there is suspicion that person may be in possession of firearm, ammunition, explosive, you can't enter premises without a search warrant. That's what the power that the SOE, or the teeth that the SOE gives, because you are speaking about what? Public safety and security. So public safety and security will trump what I should say, support a warrantless search to preserve public safety and security.
But I would imagine even with that kind of exercise, or any exercise, as a matter of fact, you still have to operate within a particular structure, because I've seen, and I recall the SOE from 2011, lots of litigation, and people actually won money and the state had to pay out. How did that even take place? What will transpire a transgression, as it were, so that someone would be able to go to the system and get money from the same system that put them behind bars?
JW, I think that your question this morning are so on point in reference to the importance of, notwithstanding that the police or law enforcement may have a power to enter premises without warrant under the circumstances that I discussed, that doesn't give the law enforcement agencies the opportunity to do what they want. So it's important, for example, even if you don't have a warrant, when you enter the premises, you still have to respect due process as you indicated by indicating to the occupants, once the opportunity is available, the reasons for your entry. So even if you don't have a warrant, indicate to them that we have suspicion that there may be firearms and ammunition explosives in this premises, and under the emergency powers regulations, we are authorized to enter without warrant to search for these items. So that's the sort of transparency and accountability that you require in keeping with due process, natural justice principles, and most importantly, we are governed by to protect and serve with the values, professionalism, respect, integrity, dignity, and I want to stress on that word, dignity, meaning that you are also respecting the rights of the persons who you are engaging. So, it's important for us that when we have that power is still exercised in keeping with that level of fairness to the persons who may be impacted.
Officer Ali, what happens if someone denies the officers access to their home? They're resistant, they're saying, well, hey, this is not the case here, and there's that back and forth. What happens in that regard?
If you look at Section 12, and for persons who are listening, look at Section 12 of the Emergency Regulation Powers 2025. You'll see under Section 12 where you have entry to premises. If the police meets the legal threshold where there is suspicion of firearm, ammunition, or explosive in a premises, and you are executing your duties, meaning that you have the suspicion, and you are met with resistance, the same Section 12 gives you the power to use such force as is necessary in these circumstances. So whatever you are met with, you will be proportionate in order to begin that entry, because you are executing your duties to preserve public safety and security.
As it pertains to the SOE, this current SOE, the ones we would have had before,
yes,
would you say from your own personal experience you've seen certain advancement, you've seen the advantage, as it were, of the SOE, being able to put a dent in criminal enterprise?
Well, what I can say, GW, I think that, when we look at the SOE, the most previous one, we did in fact enjoy some success. Persons were charged, known gang leaders were incarcerated and still continue to be incarcerated, and there was an impact on crime. And looking at the first couple of days of this SOE, and look at your front page in your newspaper, that, and the commissioner has spoken about this, that the actions taken by the state, and I'm using not the police, the state, definitely is seeing some progress, some impact on crime and criminality. So yes, I'll say that we are seeing some progress, and we hope that we continue to, build on that success that we are seeing.
What's your advice to citizens when we are in a state of emergency?
Excellent question again. When we're in a state of emergency, it's important for the citizenry to recognize that there's a serious threat affecting Trinidad and Tobago. And if we look very, very early, you'll see what Her Excellency, what she declared, that there's a very and what other office holders have indicated, that there's a very serious threat facing Trinidad and Tobago. So what is expected of the citizenry is to recognize that there's a serious threat and see how best that they can assist in dealing with that particular threat, and most importantly, being responsible in the situation. And why I'm saying responsible, there's a particular section, JW, in the regulations that speaks about persons who may be making oral or other statements that has the likelihood or can prejudice public safety and security. So this is not only about an individual who may be armed with a firearm, an ammunition or explosive. It can also be persons who are reckless in relation to what they say. Yes, we have a freedom of expression, but the regulation has come to be able to qualify that we just cannot say anything how we want, when we want, especially in these circumstances. So I just want members of the public to be responsible and to recognize that we are in this together so that we can, win this fight, or I should say, neutralize this threat that is facing Trinidad and Tobago.
Officer Ali, I want you to stick around and stay with us. Let's get ready for the 7 a.m. news update, and let's continue not only with discussions on the SOE, but I would say some tips going into this July, August, especially for those parents and the guardians looking on this morning. Officer Ali, spending some time with me on this Tuesday morning. See you soon.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time's alive!
Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, this countertop's nice, well.
It's hot, you know.
So, what do you think?
Well, this
100%.
is it. I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Carney or French Street.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale, retail, everything for you. A remush, a water, shop, fair, go view. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food Basket. Marketplace Shaguanas, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
There's a powerful switch inside your body, AMPK. It tells your system to burn fat, balance blood sugar, and boost energy. Berberine Plus activates AMPK naturally, supporting metabolism, weight management, and healthy insulin function. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powered by AMPK, perfected by nature.
Good morning, I'm Akash Samaru with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is demanding answers from the government as he claims he has been placed on an Interpol watch list. During recent travels through Antigua, on both occasions Dr. Rowley said he was informed that he was on a watch list. After making some checks through CARICOM contacts, the former Prime Minister said he confirmed he was on an Interpol list. However, in a public statement, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service rejected Dr. Rowley's claim, saying that they found no such listing. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar says Dr. Rowley owes the nation an apology, calling his accusation unfounded and inflammatory. She criticised Dr. Rowley for what she called a politically motivated smear campaign before seeking clarification directly from the authorities. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarth is rubbishing social media claims that he held a birthday bash in Tobago, causing Caribbean Airlines removing confirmed travellers or flights to accommodate his guests. The minister called the allegations a complete lie. Padarth, who celebrated his birthday on Saturday, was seen in a picture on social media among the crowd of spectators viewing parts of the Heritage Festival. The minister didn't reply to questions on Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar's call for government officials to not engage in partying during the state of emergency. On Sunday, Caribbean Airlines also dismissed the claim, saying no confirmed passengers were displaced to accommodate government officials. A family outing at MovieTowne's Carousel Park nearly turned tragic when 4-year-old Cooney McShine was lifted into the air after grabbing onto a moving Ferris wheel. Reports say McShine had run ahead of his mother during a visit to the park and somehow ended up clinging to the side of the ride. CCTV footage shows attendants trying to activate the emergency stop and even grabbing McShine's legs, but he wouldn't let go. That's when 38-year-old Akil Devines, a father of 3 from Diego Martin, leapt into action. Devines began climbing the metal structure with no harness or safety gear.
It was strenuous. It was not easy. I easily trod up, trying to navigate through steel and pull myself up and that kind of stuff. And when I was able to reach over him, I was able to grab him with one hand, brace myself with one hand, right, and then, kind of hug him and brace myself after and open the bucket for him.
In a statement, MovieTowne commended Devines for his bravery and expressed relief for McShine's safety. The company also urged parents and guardians to remain vigilant around rides and attractions. Well, those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC radio network.
Make your lashes a big deal.
New Paradise Big Deal Mascara by L'Oreal Paris. A cross-conic brush for buildable length that lasts. Buildable volume that doesn't clump, no matter how much you layer.
That's a big deal. New Paradise Big Deal Mascara by L'Oreal Paris. You're worth it.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you going to do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time to live!
Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, these countertops, nice, well.
It's hot, you know.
So, what do you think?
Well, this 100%.
Is it.
I'll take it. Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Carney or French Street.
If you live with diabetes, your pancreas works overtime every single day. Between our rich foods and busy lives, chronic inflammation can sneak in, stressing the pancreas and raising the risk of complications. Over time, inflammation can damage these cells, making blood sugar harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
A legal officer under the umbrella of the TTPS, Officer Ali, is on set with me. We are treating with the SOE, really trying to get some of the legal structure for us to get a better understanding as citizens, if indeed we are engaged at any point in time with the TTPS during this SOE. In the case of an actual arrest, walk me through the balance of rights, what are the do's and don'ts, and if there's any redress for the citizen if probably they feel there was some injustice.
Again, JW, brilliant question. And I think that the citizens who are listening will be very interested in the response that I'm about to give. Under the emergency regulations, if a person is suspected of causing a prejudice to public safety and security and they are arrested, in the first instance, you have a 48-hour window to be able to do your inquiries to determine whether a charge will follow or whether, in fact, the person needs to be released pending further inquiries. Now, if the person has to go beyond a 48-hour window, JW, it requires an assistant superintendent and above or a magistrate to intervene to be able to now to weigh and evaluate whether a continued detention beyond 48 hours for a period of 7 days is justified in the circumstances. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are seeing that there's a built-in mechanism to be able to balance, as you indicated, JW, the rights of the detainee and also the rights of law enforcement to be able to do the inquiry. There's also one more thing that I need to mention, and this in relation to where the minister is concerned now. We have available to us what they call a preventative detention order. That if in a case where we want to prevent someone acting in a manner that will prejudice public safety and security, we can make an application to the Honorable Minister of Homeland Security seeking his intervention to grant a preventive detention order for as long as he authorizes or for the duration of this SOE. Now, when that happens, if he grants the order, we have recently, just probably hours ago, JW, the Honorable Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago just appointed a 3-member tribunal to be able to review persons who may be detained under the hands of the Honorable Minister of National Security. So just by way of responding to you, you're seeing that while there is exclusive or deep powers for the law enforcement, you are seeing that there are check and balance, or as you indicated earlier, due process mechanism to ensure there's a balance of rights.
When you are indeed arrested, is it that your house, it's so ironic, we just had the Prison Association president, is it that you are kept in the holding cell at the police station, or are you sent into remand yard in the prison system? Well,
while law enforcement is engaging for that first 48 hours or even the further detention for a period of 7 days, you will be in the police station, which is authorized to be dealing with detainees who is engaging the police. But if you are on a preventative detention order on the hands of the minister under the state of emergency powers can designate a particular place where that detainee can be sent to be housed for the remainder of the SOE. But importantly for Trinidad and Tobago, this is not about just putting someone into a particular area, but there must be the progress of an investigation, because bear in mind what we said at the very inception, that that person was about or acted or is acting in a manner prejudicial to public safety and security. So it's important for us to continue to conduct the inquiries and investigation with the view of preferring criminal charges.
I want to get some perspective on this Interpol development. I know we can't go into details. Obviously, this is within the realm of politics, and they will have to do their due process to determine whether the Prime Minister's claim is true because, well, the former Prime Minister's claim is true because the current Prime Minister says his allegations are unfounded. But for general knowledge, Interpol, explain to us, for those hearing that name for years, not understanding its perimeters, its architecture, the framework of Interpol. One, explain to us Interpol, and two, what warrants or what could bring someone name on an Interpol list? Is it to deal with the personality, the level of the person, or is it the level of the crime?
Well, JW, I know that as I'm happy that you indicated that this matter has been attracting public attention, and different agencies have spoken about it. But I just want to be very careful in terms of my response. I'm just going to deal with it from an academic context, as you indicated, and not anything in relation to the present matter.
Yeah, because that will have to do its own due process.
So generally, for public information, when we speak about Interpol, we're speaking about the International Police Organization. It's an organization that gains its authority from the treaties and conventions between member states. What we have, and we have different color notices that has been developed. And what really happens is that, for example, and I'm just going to give some example, if someone is suspected of a crime, what the international police does is that assists in ensuring that they monitor the movement of that individual, because someone may want to leave a jurisdiction to go to another jurisdiction where they can evade charges, they can evade prosecution. So being suspected of a criminal offense. And the point you made in terms of, I do not want to classify it, but normally it will be engaging, serious crimes in relation to engaging Interpol. Secondly, you may have persons who, by virtue of their threat, go into another jurisdiction in keeping with the duty of care. For example, if someone have to leave Trinidad and Tobago to go to, let's say, for example, the United States, or vice versa, we'll want to alert, the international police want to alert that jurisdiction that Tom is traveling, is coming to your jurisdiction. And for example, he may be someone who may have been on the sex offenders website, or the public sex offenders website. So you need to alert that jurisdiction that that person is coming in, so that they can pay attention, they can do the necessary surveillance. So International Police Organization is just to assist the state parties around the world in monitoring the movement of persons, to assist in the detection and prevention of crime and criminality.
As we wrap up things, Officer Ali, in the seconds that remain, just a quick word of advice to parents and all guardians in this July-August vacation.
Well, what I would want to say, JW, is we must be reminded that we are in a state of emergency. And if we are in a state of emergency, it means that we are expecting parents, guardians, and persons with responsibility for children to honor their duties as parents, both from a moral context, from a legal context. And, there was an incident recently that we saw in MovieTowne.
Yeah.
And, I want to, salute that individual who, really made a great intervention to save that child.
Akil Devines is his name.
Yeah, I want to salute him this morning. Yes. And, I want to, echo his suggestion and the recommendation to the parents to be vigilant and closely supervise your children, especially where there's a serious threat facing Trinidad and Tobago.
Officer Ali,
thank you very much for having me, JW.
Always a pleasure. Always indeed a pleasure. We continue with another impactful conversation. We are dealing with World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, and we will treat with that very important talking point and the theme. Again, human trafficking is organized crime, and we want to end the exploitation. Very important talking point up next. See you soon.
I'm looking for a magic for this disaster of a war.
You need a master plan.
A what?
Kaleidoscope Weathermaster Exterior Latex Emulsion. It stands up to our wicked sun and crazy rain. It shields against fading, protects against mildew, and is crack resistant. This paint so tough that it is tried and tested against British standards and formulated with European raw material.
Kaleidoscope Weathermaster Exterior Latex Emulsion, the premium outdoor paint that protects and shields against fading. Available at hardware and Kaleidoscope color shops nationwide.
Ready to turn heads and steal the spotlight? Then head to Rosari Bridal Couture, your all-in-one fashion destination for every celebration. From stunning bridal lehengas to simple everyday shalwas, sparkling jewelry, affordable kids wear, stylish Muslim clothing, and even puja essentials, we've got it all under one roof. Get free footwear with any bridal outfit and get free matching bangles with kids wear. Need the perfect fit? Our in-house tailor is here for you. We're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just take the Southern Highway to Brentwood, Chaguanas and call 723-9099 for more info. Rosari Bridal Couture, where fashion meets celebration, all inclusive. Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news. It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
Some of us like to test limits. But there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Make sure you have yourself a great investment week by viewing The Bourse Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Bourse Report. CNC3, covering your world.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are. have no fear. The digipreneur is here. Karen Rose joins us. Let me see if he is there in Thailand. Let me look. Yes. Yes, he's on location. Because I know you're traveling, man. It's either Cambodia, Vietnam, it's somewhere now.
It's somewhere.
You're moving. Karen, great to see you, my brother. What's the action? How things in Thailand, man?
Things are good, man. Things are good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Seeing some good stuff happening in Thailand. So, you know, always good to see just where the world is heading and what's kind of becoming popular. And again, anything that's happening on this side, we always like to see that information back to the West, back to the Trinidad and Tobago, so we can take and try to implement.
You know what I've recognized from your lived experience, from what you would have delivered from people who've gone to that side of the world. You think that we live in the West and we kind of set in the pace, but I come to realize that actually we kind of lagging behind, and the East seems to be on top of things when it comes to tech, AI, and everything that's developing in this ever fast-paced technological age.
Absolutely. I think when you look at where the business is happening right now, you have to be plugged into the East, right? All of the manufacturing is in the East. All of the suppliers that are supplying all the raw materials, they're in the East. At some point, we are going to have to now, as a Caribbean, we are going to have to start collectively looking at what are the strengths of Asia, what types of things can we set up out in Asia, and what can we now facilitate to bring back to the Caribbean and have that partnership. Because again, all the manufacturing is here, all the suppliers for any type of product, any materials you need, they're all here. So we have to have a greater presence out here.
Yeah, well said. Let's move to today's topic. I'm seeing Instagram content on Google search engine. Walk me through it, because I know Instagram is a very popular platform for people to get their service and just get themselves out there.
Yeah, so I know we've been diving into some heavy topics, and this is kind of a bit of a break into something a little bit lighter, but this is a major change that impacts businesses all around the world, and this is a big opportunity for us across the Caribbean, right? And we need to understand what this changes mean. So what happened is, as of July 10th this year, right? Instagram has decided to start sharing its data with Google and Bing. And now that they're sharing the data with Google and Bing, the search engines, your content from Instagram can now start to show up inside of the search. So when somebody jumps on Google and they say, hey, what are the best basketball shoes to wear if you have a sprained ankle? If somebody's made content on shoes for ankle problems, that could come up. Your Instagram content could come up in search. And if it's coming up in search, what that also means is the new place that people are going to get information is the AI tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. If Instagram is now sharing that data with the search engines, the AI tools are now going to be starting to index that content as well. And again, that is going to be major, because now your content's not restricted to just Instagram. We know that when we want information, we go to the search engines, but now your content from Instagram is going to be showing up there.
So obviously this is going to be even better for those who use the platform for business.
Yeah, so for one, right? So what is going to happen? In order to participate in this, you have to have, this is not for personal accounts, this is for the professional account. So if you have a business account or if you have a creator account, this is going to impact you, where your content is going to be showing up. Before this change, your Instagram content was only good for 48 hours. So after 48 hours, your content would no longer typically show up in somebody's feed. All of the engagement would happen within the first 48 hours. Now that it's no longer going to be limited to being restricted on Instagram, the shelf life of the content is going to live on, because now if somebody Googles something and your post from a year, 2 years ago pops up, that could still bring in traffic to your Instagram content, which could ultimately lead to sales, right? So you need to start thinking about the Instagram content showing up. And then there's going to be a couple of things that you're going to have to do in order to get the content to show up. So for one, what you're going to want to do is things like your captions are going to matter even more. So when you're writing out your captions, you need to think about what are people actively searching for, right? and then create content around that. And one little hack that I'll share with everybody, if you want to see what is trending searches, what you can do, and Jason, I want you to do this because you're going to be able to do this live and you're going to be able to get real-time data. But go into Google, right? So go on to Google, use your phone, go on to Google, and when you start to type in the search, type in any search term. So type in roti, right? And what you're going to see, when you type in that word, you're going to see Google give you an auto-populated list, right? Don't press enter. Look at that list, and on the left-hand side, if you see a magnifying glass, what that means is these are the top trending searches involving that word in the country that you are physically in. So when you know exactly what people are searching for, and that's one way because now you see exactly what are the trending searches around roti, now you know what content to create because that's what they're searching for in the search engines. So Jason, when you just did that, what were some of the top searches that you saw?
Well, Dobson's, Angie's, and We Foods Roti Shop. Some of the
top trending searches.
Top trending, yeah.
Top trending searches in the last 7 days.
Well, I know Dobson's, We Foods. Well, let me see who again here. Wow. Yeah, look at that. All right then.
Top trending searches.
Interesting. So I guess that's based on where people looking for those. So hold on. They in the top 3 because what? People like clicking onto them, or it's just that they would have paid?
So they're searching for them. So that what you're looking at, these are the top trending searches. This is what people in Trinidad and Tobago have gone to and searched for at volume, that now Google is showing you, hey, these are the top trending searches for the last 7 days. Most businesses don't even know that they're trending like that. Like you just called a few brands, I'm sure they don't know that they're being searched for as a trending search right now.
And then I put roti near me, so Angie's is in the mix again, Dobson's again, and now Cheyenne's steps in terms of roti near me.
Type in doubles.
Oh, let me do that here now. All right then, doubles, let me see here.
These are the top trending searches that Trinbagonians have been searching for with respects to doubles.
Wow. Arpita Avenue, George and Son, and Darren's doubles. Those are the 3 that are coming up. Yeah.
When you look, right, anything that you type into Google search, when you get the auto-populated list, those are going to be top trending searches. As a business, you want to know what are people searching for so you can create the right content, get it onto your Instagram platform, so the next time somebody searches for it, your content is what's showing up. Because remember, we go to the search engines and we go to the AI tools. We ask questions to help solve our problems, or we ask questions to help achieve a desire. If your content is showing up where people are doing their research, you are going to get the call, which means you are going to get the business. This is a money conversation we're talking about. Visibility equals money. right? Wow. And this is a big opportunity because many businesses across Trinidad and Tobago don't have a website. So now you're going to be able to have some content start to show up. But again, you also need to know what people are searching for to create the right content. And then you need to learn how to optimize the content. I won't go into the optimization right now because I know we got to go. But you could jump on Google. You can search for Karen Rose and you could search for Instagram optimization. I have a full entire guide that's walking you through everything that you need to do to optimize all of your content. And this goes as far back that Google and Bing are going to be indexing content as far back as January 1st, 2020. So all of that content from 2020 to now over the last 5 years, as a business or a content creator, you need to now go back to all the content and optimize it.
Karen, sincere thanks, man. Great advice this morning, and we appreciate, as always, you touching base every Tuesday. And I never Googled doubles in my life before. This is crazy. Look at our curbside. Rodney's doubles have a curbside pickup. You think it's easy? People ordering doubles on phone. Yes, what I tell you. Well, Karen, all the best. All the best, Karen Rose. All the best, man. Wow. Again, Karen Rose. So yeah, you heard it for yourself. Instagram content on Google search engine. Definitely a tool to make sure your business is able to grow. So we get ready. It's the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. It's actually next Wednesday, July 30th. And we're going to get some details concerning all that's in place for this very important day and, of course, beyond.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Protection that moves to your beat. Protect your home with Armor Security. With 24/7 monitoring, instant alerts, motion sensors, and rapid response, you and your loved ones stay protected day and night. Sign up for the Protector or Commander package today and get a free security camera and installation. Armor Security, powered by Flow, in partnership with All Pro Security. We keep your rhythm flowing. Visit us in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have a
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hey, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill you.
Hey, pretty lady. I see you're looking for some hot sauce. Boy, move it. I have a man. See you. So you don't want no mother-in-law?
Attention, valued shoppers. We are thrilled to celebrate 34 amazing years with you, our loyal customers. A huge congratulations to all our winners.
Hey, don't make joke. I know we're not shopping spree.
Snacks we buying, mommy.
Look, boy, come on, eh? Well, look how I just win a Caribbean getaway now. Rock back. Girl, I know we're not shopping spree, eh? Well, come on, help me now. You don't have a man? Later. Nah.
It's Southern Food Basket's 34th anniversary extravaganza from July 1st to August 31st. Shop and enter for a chance to win incredible prizes, Caribbean getaways, staycations, shopping spree, and the ultimate grand prize of a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Oh yes, as promised, a very important conversation ahead. I want to welcome Dean Marie Marshall from the Counter Trafficking Unit. Of course, Dean, you are the, I'm seeing here, let me get your designation, Deputy Director, Counter Trafficking Unit. And of course, your Director, Mr. Alan Miguel, is here with us. And we say welcome because next week, Wednesday, a very important day on your calendar. I know there are plans ahead and obviously plans after the said day. And it's more than just a day, but it's a day where you recognize the hard work you and your team you all are doing, and not only here in Trinidad, but I would imagine across the entire globe, because this is a regional and global issue. So again, in that regard, welcome. And I want to find out, what are the plans? What are the plans in place for this World Day Against Trafficking in Persons?
Good morning, GW. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, this year, the Counter Trafficking Unit, with the assistance, of course, of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Minister himself, we are planning to have a play, more improvised, spoken word, using Mr. Darren Sandy. And that is just one of the small things that we would be doing on the day itself, on the 30th of July. But even before that, we continue to do some public awareness and sensitizations, and even what we're doing this morning in this Media Bliss. I'm trying to inform Trinidad and Tobago about trafficking in persons.
Yeah, let me bring Director Mr. Miguel in the conversation. Are we making inroads? Are we making strides in terms of putting a spike in the criminal enterprise that conduct this kind of business?
A wholehearted yes.
Thank you.
Because what we have seen is that from the inception, when the deputy and we took the mantle of the counter-trafficking unit, at that time we were sitting at a tier 2 watch list. That means that our activities in relation to addressing this whole idea of trafficking in persons is assessed not by us, but by the United States Department of State. They do a worldwide check of all countries who fall under the United Nations Protocol for suppressing trafficking and prosecuting trafficking, especially amongst women and girls. They do the assessment, and they have so far assessed us. They have elevated from the Tier 2 watch list to Tier 2. And I was told recently that we are going to continue on the Tier 2. So it means then that we are progressing. One of the metrics that they use to determine whether it is you are progressing or not is whether you have had a conviction. So we have gone past one conviction. We are at 2 convictions now, and we're looking we are on a good trajectory in terms of improving our detection, prosecution, and conviction.
Ms. Marshall, let me ask, what conditions must be in place for someone to know that, you know what, this is wrong, something is not correct here? What are the conditions that will constitute somebody being trafficked or being held against their will in that regard?
So the legal framework says to us that we must be able to determine act, means, and purpose. So an act, so the investigators who are so attached, and let me say good morning to the authorized officers of the counter-trafficking unit this morning, they are given the mandate to provide the evidence that there was an act, whether there was a recruitment, transport, transfer, harboring of an individual. And means, if the means was via deception, coercion, or an abuse of, and that keyword, vulnerability. And then, of course, for what purpose? Whether the purpose was sexual, labor, domestic servitude, and, well, in other parts of the globe, organ harvesting. So those are the 3 components that must be met in relation to when we look at the legal framework. When we look at our indicators for somebody who is for our citizenry, we often tell them, observe little telltale signs in terms of the movement of persons in bulk, whether or not they could see somebody is of control of them, whether or not they're inside during the day, but then you see a vehicle come to pick them up in the night. Several little things that will give you, you know what they said, raise the hair behind your neck syndrome? Yeah. So we want you all to be able to indicate to us if you see anything, because we will, of course, progress it. But these are the mantles that the investigators have to find before they can perfect an investigation in trafficking.
Director Miguel, I want you to start, and obviously your colleague could continue. As it pertains to those who are rescued, what are some of the steps post-rescue and more so that reintegration process back into society for victims?
Yeah, quite often, sometimes that rescue comes by way of an alert that may emanate from Venezuela.
Oh, serious?
Maybe a family member, somebody who is trafficked, find a phone or get access to a phone, and they drop a location back to the people in Venezuela. Quite often, the Venezuelan officials, they contact us, and we immediately have to go to that coordinate and find that person and perhaps rescue them. And that is the beginning of our work, really. Because in trafficking, when you deal with trafficking in persons, there are 2 aspects of it. One is that you want to prosecute and bring down, disrupt and dismantle the networks, and then you have to care for the victims and you have to care for them in a particular way, in a trauma-informed manner. Because that person was snatched out of their comfort zone, wherever they were, taken on a boat and disappeared into Trinidad and Tobago, and next thing you have a debt. Imagine a teenager, you tell them they have a debt of 30,000. You don't need much imagination to finish that side of the story. So they have to go to work and so on. But when we have them, we have to make sure they are medically fit, medically sound, psychosocial. We have victim care. We have a number of things that the law mandates us to do. We must house, we must have shelters, appropriate shelters for them. And in the perhaps the most difficult aspect of that is the lag time between an arrest, prosecution, and final determination before the court. What type of life is that victim going to live in the meantime? So we think about technical and vocational studies. We teach them nail tech, beautician courses, and so on to make their lives while they're here, you know, as comfortable and as humane as possible. Well, and finally, some of them, the adults and so on, they're given minister's permits so they can integrate into the society, they can work into the society. But you could appreciate the difficulty of a person who has suffered such trauma, the fear that they may have. We spoke about that earlier, the fear that they may have just being in society.
And I mean, you would have mentioned also, Ms. Dane, that besides those who would have been on the part of a syndicate or organized criminal enterprise that brought them, if indeed they had to interact with people during that nightmare, to even see that person, let's say customers or somebody who would have been exploiting them in a particular way, that in itself.
That's a unique word to use.
Well, yeah. Customers. Well, I mean, you know, like, you know, people will be people who will...
Clients, dons.
That kind of thing, right?
Yes.
I would imagine that in itself would be a bit traumatic. So is there any kind of reservation or any facility for someone to totally leave the space?
So this directorate, very early, we were having discussions with UNHCR and the Canadian Embassy in relation to resettlement of possible victims. I mean, Trinidad and Tobago's very first trafficking victim in terms of conviction, she herself was able to resettle into the UK, all right? What we try to do now, GW, is, of course, through the Victim and Witness Support Unit and other agencies who assist us with the psychosocial, we try very much to assist them in that regard. Now, at this particular point in time, the counter-trafficking unit has mostly Venezuelan national women who are victims, and they opt more than likely to return to their home country. So even in that process, we, of course, transfer that information to the authorities across there so that they can continue with their psychosocial needs. But it is actually and will always be up to the survivor, the choice that they want to make, yes.
Well, again, you know, a very important conversation, and obviously, as you all mentioned, dents are being made, the work is being done, and I know that, as you said, next week, we'd use drama and theater to paint this story.
Yes.
You think the average citizen, we are getting a deeper understanding as to this particular issue? You think people, because I know there were folks for a long time denied this, denied this even took place, There was a lot of denial, a lot of people put their head in the sand concerning this talking point.
Yeah, indeed. We have embarked on wide-ranging sensitization programs. I mean, we went to Tobago, to the hoteliers, the boat people, and, we do schools, we do, so it is part of our mandate under the law to warn the public that this exists out here. Yeah. And I think that we're doing a fantastic job. Even some of our institutions, like the judiciary, we have had engagements with them to let them know exactly what it means to really prosecute or to deal with trafficking in persons. And so I think that the public now is starting to become aware. Yeah. Quite often it is not uncommon for people to say that they never knew that this was happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. But now I don't think that is an excuse anymore, because we are doing quite a fantastic job in terms of sensitizing the public as to the dangers that exist.
That's why these conversations are so important. I think there is a level of awareness now, and I think people are also being extra mindful. I've always said intelligence is a strong currency when it comes to crime fighting, and I think, as you rightfully said, if you're in an area and you're seeing something strange, you need to get in touch with the authorities. And sometimes that little tip does break down our whole syndicate, Sometimes these things are being done in a quiet, people hiding in the open with this kind of behavior.
In plain sight, and I just want to warn Trinidad and Tobago, for every operation that you see counter-trafficking unit put out there, we are putting it out there so that you are able to understand and see that it is real. And for every operation, I kid you not, we will find a child. We will find a child subjected to the exploitation. So I would want you all to continue to say something. Our hotline is 800-4288. I need to get that there. 800-4288. 800-4CTU. We are also on Instagram, Counter-Trafficking Unit TT. And of course, you can email us on countertraffickingunit@mns.gov.tr. caribbean.gov.tt.
Well, Dean Marie Marshall, of course, Alan, Miguel, I want to thank you all for being here, for the great work. Let's keep the conversation going so that, you know, at least we could inform the country as to what's being done. Yes, we know next week Wednesday is going to be a day of remembrance and knowledge and awareness, but we have to keep the conversation going beyond the 30th. So let's keep in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're blue.
We're blue. Blue's the color. All right. Well, I mean, you see what's going on inside here, right? I won't disappear, right? Yeah. But I'll wear blue. I'll wear blue for sure. Let's take the pause, and we come right back as we wrap things up on this Tuesday. Of course, medical discussion and that kind of awareness as for the conversations on cancer. That's up next. See you soon.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Asafa Powell, the Jamaican sprinting icon who shattered the 100-meter world record and redefined the limits of human speed, reveals the relentless drive that fuels his journey.
You got XL? This good for your giants then.
Try Omega XL, it works.
This Christmas in July, Bright Ideas is lighting up your home like it's Christmas morning. Unwrap 25% off all lighting, fixtures and chandeliers all month long. From sleek modern pieces to statement chandeliers. It's the perfect time to refresh your space and reveal something bright and beautiful. Check our 8 locations or online at brightideashomestore.com or on the Bright Ideas mobile app. This Christmas in July, it's time to shine. Bright Ideas. Slay the savings.
Ready to turn heads and steal the spotlight? Then head to Rosari Bridal Couture, your all-in-one fashion destination for every celebration. From stunning bridal lehengas to simple everyday shalwas, sparkling jewelry, affordable kids wear, stylish Muslim clothing, and even puja essentials, we've got it all under one roof. Get free footwear with any bridal outfit and get free matching bangles with kids wear. Need the perfect fit? Our in-house tailor is here for you. We're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just take the Southern Highway to Brentwood, Chaguanas and call 723-9099 for more info. Rosari Bridal Couture, where fashion meets celebration, all inclusive. Leilani Estate, Maracas St. Joseph, and Villa Ananda Tobago. Trusted for distinguished weddings and elite corporate events in breathtaking surroundings. Secure your private venue today. Call 334-4430 to book.
Director under the TNT Cancer Society, Dr. Vasant Basdio, joins me. And let me firstly, as always, thank Dr. Basdio for his time and just congratulate you on a great activation this weekend from the Oval straight to Hilton. It was, I must say, an impactful weekend for the TNT Cancer Society. Welcome, Doc. Good to see you.
Always good to see you, Jason. Good morning to our viewing and listening public. And again, yes, we are so grateful. We just want to express our deepest gratitude to everyone, from corporate, TT, to officials, to everyone who supported us, and more so the players debating against cancer and the citizens who came out to support survivors. It really, truly was a heartwarming weekend. And then we wrapped things up yesterday, on Sunday rather, with the Luminaria session that we spoke about earlier. So pleasure to always be here. Grateful to have these conversations.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to put the kudos out for the great weekend spent. Let me get into a very important conversation, and it's one that many Caribbean people sometimes battle with, and this is the sun and its impact, what problems could come about with sunbathing, as it were, because it's July, August, people go out, and there are many people who, they wear the summer tan with pride. It's almost, especially those who come from far afield. We're talking Europeans, those from far places where you want to go back to your home country, bronze, to show everybody, hey, I was in the tropics, I was in the Caribbean. But what we recognize is that in itself can be problematic. So let's treat with sun safety and cancer this morning.
Certainly. So July is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. And, we should be grateful for the melanin in our skin because, it does protect. However, what we've noticed is that gives a sort of false idea amongst our Caribbean people, thinking that because we have a lot more melanin, that we don't have any risk for skin cancer. And I want to begin the conversation today highlighting that this is an absolute myth, that because we are colored people in the Caribbean, or the majority of us are rather, we think that we are protected from skin cancer. In fact, yes, there are higher risk factors for skin cancers in the more Caucasian populations. But particularly for our Caribbean colored persons, there is a high risk for skin cancer. And this July, August, well, I say holidays, I know persons, there's the argument whether it's summer here in the Caribbean, but we just have July, August holidays, right? So particularly the kids, Jason, this is something that we're going to go to the beaches, we're going to go out into the open, go into outdoor activities a lot for the holidays. And it's really, really important that we take protective measures to help protect against skin cancer. Now, just quickly, skin cancer, there are two types of skin cancer, melanoma type skin cancers and non-melanoma type skin cancers. So the non-melanoma skin cancers are things like, squamous cell carcinoma and basal cell carcinoma. Big words, don't worry about it too much. But the more popular one that a lot of persons know are the melanomas, which is something that Bob Marley is a famous one that would have suffered and passed on from this dreaded disease. And that one actually is the more aggressive type of skin cancer that usually spreads and causes death. So, this morning we really want to talk about ways we can protect ourselves, protect our children, our loved ones from this skin cancer, which the evidence is actually very clear as well, that it's a very increasing rate at which we are seeing skin cancer, particularly in the Caribbean, here in Trinidad and Tobago. We are somewhere in the top 10th percentile in the world for rapidly increasing rates of skin cancer.
What's the layer of protection? Because I saw someone, again, you can't believe everything you see online, but I saw within recent time, and I was rather surprised with the article, folks actually questioning the validity of sunscreen. That's a big debate now, people asking if sunscreen really works. What's your take? What's the medical solution?
That's a great question, Jason, because, we are based by the evidence. And look, you see, the time from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., that's when the ultraviolet index is at its highest. That's why the weather report is important. A simple difference between a UV index of 8 to some places like 12, north of the Caribbean and the English-speaking Caribbean, so particularly countries like Antigua, Barbuda, where many of us might vacation, they have a lot higher indexes. But here in Trinidad, especially July to September, even in December, we have high indexes, sometimes going from 10 to 12. Now, the thing is, we have to look at being practical. So try to plan your outdoor activities around the times that are less high intensity of this ultraviolet index. The other thing that we can do to seek shade, so during the midday, during you're going to the beach, that's the time to be under the coconut trees, under the umbrellas, getting your shade. The other thing that you can naturally do too is to wear a wide brimmed hat. So notice I said a wide brimmed hat and not a cap per se. So a brimmed hat means it goes right around your head. We have a famous parang, the sombrero is too big or too small. It can't be too big in Trinidad. wear that circular type of hat. You know, the sort of test match cricket hat that these test match cricketers have is a good investment. I have a straw hat that I use and I pack, and I would clip that under my neck when I'm going out there, especially during that midday period. The other thing that we can do naturally to protect ourselves is to wear sunglasses. There are sunglasses that provide 99 to 100% protection against the ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B radiation, because the areas around the eye are very, very sensitive, and that's an area that we want to protect as well. And also naturally, what we can do is wear long-sleeved clothing, and there's now clothing. So, you know, for me, for instance, I have a rash guard that has ultraviolet protection already. That's 30 plus. So by wearing that alone, you're already covering your arms. You could wear even longer pants when during the day if you're going outdoors during the day. Now, coming to the topic about the sunscreen, the evidence is clear. It does work. You know, there's no evidence to suggest that using sunscreen causes skin cancer. In fact, having prolonged exposure to the sun, especially the high intensity UV index, that's what increases the risk of cancer, and particularly getting sunburns in childhood. That's why I stressed this morning, look, protect our children, because getting sunburn in childhood, it damages that protective layer of the skin and puts that person at more risk of later on getting skin cancer. So the recommendation is a TITI, SPF, broad spectrum, reef safe. We live in the Caribbean, so make sure if you're purchasing your sunscreen, you buy the ones that are sensitive to our coastal and oceans environment as well.
Well said. And I'm sure you would have seen, you know, the discussion recently with that whole debate on sunscreen, and I was like, well, I never had anybody question sunscreen in my life before, so I'm glad you were able to give that clarity. In the seconds that remain, I'll let you have the closing remarks.
Sure. So Trinidad and Tobago, go out, have fun in the sun, get active, go outdoors, but just protect yourself. You know, there are natural measures, as I said, and then you have the sunscreen measures. Examine yourself, look at your moles, look at your skin tags. Is it changing? Is it something that's rapidly changing? Have your annual checkups. Have, you know, and as partners and friends and loved ones, look at each other. You know, it's not just always about sharing love in that way, but also examining and looking at our partners and stuff like that as well too. So have a blessed and a very fun July, August holidays, everyone, but be safe in the sun.
Dr. Basdio, always a pleasure. Have a great one.
Thank you.
For sure. Let's continue with our, of course, push towards 8 when we say goodbye. But before we officially pull the curtains down, let's check in with Omega XL for health tip, your health tip for today.
The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth. Chronic inflammation doesn't just strike at random. It's also a central factor in arthritis, specifically rheumatoid arthritis. This autoimmune disorder turns the body's defenses against itself, attacking the joints and causing persistent inflammation. This leads to swollen, painful joints and can significantly impair daily activities. The inflammation associated with rheumatoid arthritis doesn't only damage joints, but can also affect other organs and lead to widespread symptoms. Over time, the chronic inflammation can cause the cartilage in the joints to degrade, resulting in loss of mobility and chronic pain. Combating this type of inflammation involves several proactive steps. Medications can reduce inflammation and slow disease progression. Physical therapy also plays a key role in maintaining joint function and reducing pain. Moreover, lifestyle changes, such as adopting an anti-inflammatory diet rich in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids, can help manage symptoms. Regular exercise tailored to personal capacity helps maintain joint flexibility and strength, while also fighting off inflammation. Additionally, reducing stress through mindfulness, meditation, or gentle yoga can also decrease the body's inflammatory responses. By understanding how chronic inflammation contributes to arthritis and actively managing these symptoms, individuals can preserve their joint health and improve their quality of life. With the right strategies, living with arthritis can be more manageable. This health tip was brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong. The Daily Health Tip, brought to you by Omega XL, where health is wealth.
Where health is wealth. I want to leave you on a good tip this Tuesday morning and touch in with that story out of MovieTowne with Akil Devines, who became an instant hero by rescuing the young man who was in distress. Let's check out that story.
A family outing at MovieTowne's Carousel Park nearly turned tragic, but one man's brave actions have captured the nation's heart. This viral video shows a terrifying moment when 4-year-old Connie McShine was lifted into the air after grabbing onto a moving Ferris wheel. The child had excitedly run ahead of his mother during a visit to the park and somehow ended up clinging to the side of the ride. The CCTV footage showed the panic and the pandemonium among staff and the child's mother. His mother, Melissa Taylor, told CNC3 News she had just purchased a $200 ticket package and was preparing to board with her son and her other children when he darted toward another ride.
Mommy, we go on this one, So he stand up on which one you want to go on. He stand up on it right there. And apparently it went up.
CCTV footage showed moments before the child was taken up in the Ferris wheel and attendants tried to activate the emergency stop, even grabbing the child's legs. But he wouldn't let go. That's when 33-year-old Akil Devines, a father of two from Diego Martin, jumped into action. Devines, who had just come off the ride with his daughters, passed them to a bystander and began climbing the metal structure with no harness or safety gear.
It was strenuous. It was not easy. I easily trod up, trying to navigate through steel and pull myself up and that kind of stuff. And when I was able to reach over him, I was able to grab him with one hand, brace myself with one hand, right? And then, kind of hug him and brace myself after and open the bucket for him.
Since the video surfaced, social media users have been praising Devines for his efforts, with some calling for him to receive a national award, including the prestigious Hummingbird Medal for his bravery.
I think that's me as a person.
And some people have been in social media asking that, the possibility of you receiving a national award.
Okay, well, of course I welcome that. A national award is a great accomplishment.
MovieTowne has confirmed the incident and commended Devines for his bravery. The company said in a statement that it is extremely relieved that the child was unharmed. MovieTowne said with the July-August school vacation in full swing, the company is urging parents and guardians to remain vigilant around rides and attractions. Otto Carrington, CNC3 News.
Otto, I want to thank you for that amazing story. And again, kudos to you, Akil Devines, real hero there from the West Side. Whether it's an award, whether or not I think you should, but people like that just act. And they don't act really looking to receive anything. And I always, speak on being our brothers and sisters' keeper. So that in itself, it personifies that kind of energy. So well done, Akil. Thanks for leaving us, taking us out in a smile and with style this Tuesday morning. God's spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. Have a great one, TNT. Be safe.
The Morning Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.
You're watching CNC3. The views and opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those